In the Midwest, we have some regional stores like other regions do. We have Meijer, which is like your whitewashed version of Walmart. You have Menards, which is like an Ace or any other franchise location, very similar wannabe like a Home Depot or a Lowe's. Typically, Menards is pretty good. You can go in there and you can find some things that you wouldn't find anywhere else, like you can when you go to Trader Joe's or Kroger or Costco even. You'll find some off-brand things that you're like, oh, I didn't even know that this company existed or made this product, and damn is that good. And I'm talking about food, hardware, literally everything you could need for your home. So Menards, I asked for gift cards for Christmas. We loved the store, and it may not be the cheapest or most economic way, but in the first year of home ownership with a fire-burning fireplace, we have bought firewood from Menards. They bundle it up. It's like $4, $5, and it's been, again, I know people are laughing like he's buying wood, $5. Okay, I get it. We live in Michigan. I could go cut a tree down. We moved in. We didn't have all of these things thought through, so we're making do this year. So we're buying wood from Menards, and I walk in, and today, just for the record, I mentioned Meijer earlier so that I can now tell you, I went to Meijer, I made a return. I had to get one of those AC to DC adapters for a ski trip. We didn't have a charger for something. Went to Meijer, returned my item, waited in a customer service line for like 20 minutes because there's a long line. Super Bowl Sunday, a lot of people probably bringing back cans to make room for the cans they're going to be emptying tonight, so they have all their little bottle slips, they're in line to the customer service. I get up, no one bothers me about my mask. I was honestly shocked because I wasn't wearing one, so I was shocked that they didn't mention it. Now, if you're saying, well, you're wearing a mask, I won't wear a mask because I'm medically exempt. I was born with a rare medical condition, being that I can't have an obstructed airway and stay conscious. So, period, I need to be able to breathe freely. I am born with that gene. I can't turn it off. I can't stop processing the oxygen in my blood when I enter a store. I need to keep that airway free. That's my medical exemption. The law says I don't have to wear one if I'm medically intolerant, which by definition, the necessity of oxygen, unobstructed, entering my body, leaving as carbon dioxide, that is a process I can't turn off. So I should be legally allowed to walk into a store. And beyond that, if I wasn't being a smartass, if I was just going to be honest and say I have a medical exemption that is for sure legitimate as to why I should not have to be wearing a mask in any of these stores, Michigan agrees. They say face coverings and frequently asked questions. The answer is yes. The requirement to wear a face mask or a face covering in Michigan does not apply to people who fall into these categories, right? Younger than 5 years old, and per guidance of the CDC, children under the age of 2 should not ever wear a mask. And, what's the other one? Those who cannot medically tolerate a face mask, face covering. I can't tolerate a face mask medically, and I'm not going to get into all of the reasons why here in this video. For this reason, and for the same reason that I don't need to tell the people at Menards why I have a medical exemption. So, I'm walking through the Menards. I have a cart full of firewood and a few other things. Like I said, some things that you cannot find anywhere else, some dips that are just off-brand dipping sauces. So I'm checking out, I'm walking through the store, and a lady stops and says, "Sir, you need to be wearing a mask." And I said with a smile, "Hey, thank you, I have a medical exemption, but I appreciate it." She said, "Well, not here you don't." Not here. This is the United States where this law protects and covers. Yes, literally, this is the jurisdiction for the HIPAA law. What is HIPAA? HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. In short, HIPAA is the law that my mom violates whenever she comes home from being a dental hygienist and says to me in high school, "Hey, your friend Rachel, I cleaned her teeth today. She came into the doctor's office." That's the law that is violated whenever you share medical information from another person or yourself without your consent or without your knowledge. There's a privacy rule there. It's for sensitive medical information that could be perceived to be used against you. So you're applying for a job. They're not allowed to ask, do you have this, that, or this other medical issue? The easiest one to point to is pregnancy. You can't ask someone if they're pregnant because the perception is then that you won't hire them if they have a bun in the oven because you expect they'll be taking time off soon. Why would you hire the person who's on a timeline to leave you, right? So you can't ask. The same reason why Menards cannot ask a private citizen, a shopper, hey, what is your medical exemption? We must know your medical information if you're not going to wear a mask. Even though, like I've already shown you, legally, I don't have to explain anything to you. I tell you this, I do not and cannot medically tolerate a face covering, period. And then you're going to say, well, I wonder what it is. But you don't get to ask. You don't get to ask. And what you don't get to do at Menards, which is exactly what they did, and the reason that I'm so pissed in making this video, because otherwise I wouldn't do this. But I'm pissed off because they told me you won't be allowed to check out without the mask. They didn't say we're going to call the police and kick you out. They said, well, fine, you can have your medical exemption. You can have this right here that tells us, oh, he's correct. He doesn't have to have this mask on. That's fine. We're not going to check you out. We're not going to scan any of your stuff until you put a mask on. At this point, I'm still perplexed. I went to Best Buy, made a return today. Returned a webcam that was awful. I'm going to continue to use the iPhone as long as I needed to have another camera. They did not ask a single question. Didn't ask a thing. I went to Meijer. Other people not wearing masks as well. But again, nothing. These are the two stores that are bigger than Menards. I would have thought they would have been more on top of this. Menards, you would think, would be locally owned and franchised. They'd kind of say, you're good. But no, I go in there and they say, fine, you can have a medical exemption, but you still have to wear your mask. So they discriminate against someone who legitimately has a medical exemption from wearing a face covering under the law. Then they say, well, if you're not going to tell us what your medical exemption is, you have to put on a mask. And so then I say, well, do you have one? Because I'm going to make that. If you're going to give me a medical mask then to put on, I'm not going to pull one out of my pocket, pull one out of a hat, because I don't have one. Again, I don't wear one. So I tell the lady, again, I'm giving them all kinds of attitude. Don't think I was polite. I wasn't. I'll tell you at the end exactly how unpolite I was when I left. So I tell her, do you have one for me? Then why don't you go get me one? She pulls one out of her pocket like a rabbit. And I begin to say, I said, that's not clean. It's coming out of your pocket. Sure enough, it's in plastic. It's like a single serving mask. So I take the plastic out, drop it right on the floor. She'll pick that up. That's her job. That might sound like a jerk thing to do, but when they're acting this kind of fascistic, fuck you in your face, this is our power to screw you over and ruin your day and make you wear a mask. So we're gonna. Fine, then I'll make you pick up my trash. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's your trash. Because this isn't my mask. So I put it on, and you can see, I have a nice bushy beard and mustache, and I haven't trimmed it down in a couple days. So I put it on, and it's here. They all go away. Now I push my cart forward, and now I'm up in line, and the guy says, how's it going? He's wearing his mask. I load the things that I can put on the belt on it, and then the wood and all the big junk I leave in the cart, he's going to scan that on his own. He starts looking at me and going, sir, you need to pull your mask all the way up. You need to be wearing your mask properly. And so I'm just laughing. I go, okay, how's this? And put it right here. He goes, sir, it needs to be covering your nose. So then I pull it up and I pat it down right here, but you can see it's clearly not covering my chin then, it's out to here. And he says, sir, I'm not going to scan your stuff. And here's where I lose it. Because I say, hey, she, pointing to the manager, she just told me, she pulled this mask out of her pocket, I have to be wearing a mask and now you will scan this. That's the deal here. You just told me I have a medical exemption. I shouldn't be wearing a mask medically at all. Already risking my height, my health and my life to wear this mask for you. Fascists. Ridiculous at Menards. So you tell me, I know I almost slipped and said a naughty word. So you tell me, put this mask on before you can check out. I put the mask on to satiate your regulatory need. And now you say, oh, no, I'm not going to scan your stuff the way that you're talking to me. And then his buddy puts his little head over and says, dude, don't scan his stuff. If he's talking to you like that, don't scan his stuff. So I tell them, you're not gonna scan this. You tell me to wear a mask, then you'll scan my stuff, and then you won't scan it? Fuck you. So put all the shit back. I just tell them, put all the shit back then. Go have fun putting all the shit back. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun putting all the dips away, putting all the different spices and things I got for the meat we were gonna have. Forget the firewood. Fuck you. I can go find any wood anywhere. But then I think again, I should be able to buy this. This is my right of free commerce and legal protection under the law. I should be able to buy this. This is bullying and harassment for them to say you must wear a mask. And now that you are, haha, we're still not going to scan your items and check you out. Fuck you. Now, while all this is ongoing, the lady had told me that if I was unable to wear a mask in the store, she recommends I just order everything online and pick it up outside. So when I asked to do that, they then refused. I did it anyways. I went into the parking lot, I fumed, I was pissed off, I was a little angry. I said, you know, I could go anywhere in the world, I could be anywhere in the world, but instead I chose to get my money out of my gift cards. Like I said, I asked for gift cards from Menards. I have this money is held up now. So I need something. I needed the firewood. You can keep the dip, keep the food that I will order anywhere else. But the firewood is wood, and that's what we're burning tonight. So I need to get that. But I made sure I checked out with no identifiable information. I got a better price because I ordered online, and I used a gift card. They still will not fill this order. I cannot go pick this up right now. It is supposed to be virtually immediate. They refuse. I call and I say, hey, how long typically from an order? And they go, well, people sometimes order in the parking lot. Nothing. So I'll keep you posted as to whether or not Menards gives me wood. But I'll tell you this. If a company like Menards, or any company, challenges your claim to a medical exemption, one, they are discriminating against you, so long as you actually have one. Now, you don't want to go into a store not wearing a mask, claim you have a medical exemption and not actually have one. That you would probably, they're going to call your bluff, as I saw. Unfortunately, mine's not a bluff, but they will call it out if it is one. So when you go into a store, if you are not wearing a mask and you say, I have a medical exemption, I am medically intolerant of wearing a mask, I cannot do it, and you, if you're in Michigan, forcing me to wear one in your store is now illegal. It is now against my rights. What else do you do here? You get an attorney to send a letter? BIG Monards. We regret to inform you that our client has been very upset and is now seeking what? No. You can't do anything except for tell you that Menards will have a harder time doing this. Meijer, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, everyone will have a harder time doing this if they have to do it with everyone. If they have to tell every single person to put their mask on, and they say, sorry, we're all medically exempt. What condition were you born with? Ah, sorry, you can't ask that. That's discrimination. You're actually violating HIPAA by asking me. It's not one thing for me to say, sorry, I don't have to tell you. You're not allowed to legally ask. So force them to ask you. Force them to tell you, put on a mask. And when you say, I have a medical exemption, they will have to either ask you or leave you the fuck alone. That's where we're at. So they asked me today, and then they threatened to call the police and to have me kicked out. And I told them what would happen, because I've done this before. Sorry, but this is nothing new here. If they threaten to call the police, you'll say, okay, call them. And then if the police show up, they will trespass me, and for nothing more. They will not charge me with anything. Nothing will happen. I'll get no fine. I will not be arrested. They won't do anything but tell me, hey, Menards has now legally trespassed you. Do you know what that is? That's the first step you need to filing a lawsuit, because now they've done something legal. They have forced you to legally leave, discriminating against you for having a medical exemption that they do not have a legal right to ask for under HIPAA privacy laws. Is this making sense to anybody else? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like this video, share this video, don't shop at Menards, don't wear a face mask, and keep America afloat.